What is up, Patreons? In this video, we're going to continue the blocker series. The previous video was kind of a debugging session, a nasty session, and I thought, should I record the second session? Also debugging, and I think it's gonna be a waste of time, right? So what I did is I checked it myself for a little bit, nice and relaxed without any stress, and the music is too loud. And actually, my new chair on my desk is giving me electric field. So each time I touch something after I'm coding, after I'm getting out of this chair, I'm basically Magneto. It's crazy. It's a little bit annoying, but hey. Anyway, so I basically debugged it and I reset hard git reset hard my whole repo, basically, so we don't have all that junk from yesterday. Or from the previous episode, by the way. It depends when you watched it, right? So basically the problem resides in, let me quickly on my screen here. First thing we're gonna do once again in main here is basically because we resetted that stuff. What we gonna do is this time sleep, this guy here. What we're gonna do is we going to make this a second, actually, because it's too fast. Second here, yeah, that's fine, right? Make second TS disable highlight, by the way. Boom, that's fine. So the problem resides in chain test here. Let's open up chain test and let's go to our the latest test here, test add block with TX, right? So let me, do I have this still? That's a question. Do I have this still? Yes, here one. So I'm gonna test this specific test, right? So I'm gonna say run test add block with TX, so you can actually run that specific test in Golang, right? So I'm gonna run this, and the problem is gonna be invalid block signature, right? A couple things we need to do first. The first thing I actually noticed is that in wait, maybe I can fix it directly. So the root problem that we have, why this is not working, because I actually double checked the other tests, and we already have this test add block with TX insufficient funds, and it works all perfectly fine with the TX outputs and inputs, and that's amazing. Actually, I didn't know that we are already that far, right? So we are actually almost there, to be honest. And the problem is in, let me go to add block here, validate block, I think it's verify. Yesterday we did a bunch of loggings, I know. That's why I basically resetted the whole branch, right? The problem is in verify block here. I think it's in sign block, by the way. Here is a problem. Here is a problem. So I was debugging this and everything was basically all right. The root hash was okay, was the same. Everything was the same except the signature. And if you have a wrong signature, that basically means that something is wrong. And we could not find it because we were comparing root hashes and everything was the same. But the problem is, look at this, what we do. We hash the block here, right? Then we sign the block. Then we set the public key. That doesn't matter because we only hash the header, right? We're only gonna hash the header. Let me open up this once again to show you. Proto, we're gonna only hash this thing, right? This header here, what's going on? This one, right? So the version, the height, the pref hash, the root hash, and the timestamp, right? That's the only thing we hash. Because the root hash will basically provide us with the validation of all the transactions, right? Because the root hash is basically the Merkle tree of all the transactions, right? The problem is this root hash, right? And why? It's because we signed the block here, but we set the root hash here. So we did not sign the root hash. We signed everything except the root hash. That's why we have a wrong transaction. But we were logging this root hash here, I think, and they were the same. Of course they were the same, but we didn't hash it. So the only thing we actually need to do is such a stupid mistake, but hey, we need to place it above, right? Completely above here, maybe a little space, actually here. And not quite sure is it going to test because I think I found a little issue, also a little small, tiny bit of a problem. Hey, it's working. You see? That's the only thing we needed to do. That was my mistake. Video's over. Time to go home. All right, so now we have actually everything working pretty fine. That's nice. So Merkle trees are in order. UTXO shenanigans is in order. The only thing that I actually want to do is, because I think with this already set up, of course there will be some hiccups here and there. Completely agree. But like I said, we're not making this production ready, right? It's not that we're going to deploy this blockchain tomorrow and everything needs to be super secure. There will be some hiccups here and there, and if you find them, please let me know. Make a pull request or something for the Patreons on the, what is it, the high value organization on GitHub, right? But I hope you guys have already a nice trip, a nice learning experience trip in this blockchain. We did some networking stuff, gossip stuff, we did some adding blocks, cryptography and all that shenanigans, some crypto stuff, UTXO stuff, verification stuff, Merkle tree stuff. We did a lot of things, right? We even can, we already can send money, but before we actually going to implement one of the last steps, in my opinion, and that's finding a way to basically have a consensus, right? And I was thinking, what kind of consensus are we implementing, and why not just a proof of work instead of a proof of a consensus, another consensus algorithm? Because implementing a real consensus algorithm it's doable, of course, but it will take a lot of time. It will probably be 10 extra episodes, and because it's a lot of distributed stuff going on and all that. So we need to. So I'm not quite sure if we're gonna do that, right? I think if we do, because implementing a proof of work will also have a lot of episodes, but I don't think as much as the other ones, proof of stake or something, right? All right. So what I want to do is basically, there's a little problem here, not a problem, but something we didn't do actually in chain. If we, where is it? Here we check all the inputs are spent. What we don't do here, so we range over the, where is it? Is it this one? This is a double check. Oh, it's this one actually here. No, this is validate. That's not what we want. I think what we could do is this, basically. No, we don't have span. It's the input base. Where are we ranging here? If we're gonna say if the x inputs y spent, it's probably with a t. Wait, what's going on here? Dot proto. We have a spent thing. Oh, it's UTXO. Yeah, it's UTXO. It's not the input. Here is my man. Oh, wait, here. Oh, yeah, I see. We already did it. We are also so far in this thing. We already checked this. The only, oh man, it's like I said, I didn't know that we are so far already in this episode. It's already, I don't know, maybe episode 15 or something, or maybe even more, I don't know. But what we need to do is basically set it to spent, right? For now, what we do here is, man, this font is huge, man. Here, this one. Spent false, right? So we basically telling us that it's not spent, but now we need to update it. That's what I want to do, actually, man. Whew. Sometimes. So how we're gonna do this is actually where we came from, I think. Right, so this is for each output. I think what we need to do is basically for iterator or y in inputs in range tx inputs, we're going to do key is going to be fmt sprint f. And why do we need this? Because we're going to grab the UTXO, the previous, we're going to grab the unspent transaction output from our Genesis block. I'm not quite sure if we make one. We will see if we can find it. So we're going to make a key here, and we're going to say the key is going to be %s, %d, basically the pref hash, and the input index of that pref hash, right? And that's going to be input dot pref hash, pref tx hash, and input and y, actually, to be honest. I think it's pref out index, by the way. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what we need. Let me quickly print out this key real quick to see what it is. And normally this key should be the transaction. I will show you which one it should be. Why declared not used? Okay. That's fine. If you open up chain test real quick here, boom. And this is our last test. We're gonna have this. You see this get thingy here? Of course, it's a little bit formatted because the font is too big. But this, boom. This is basically the previous transaction, and this transaction should actually be, if you go to chain, it should be the genesis block, right? This amount. So what we're gonna do is this should have an UTXO. This is an unspent transaction output, right? This one. And which should be spent false, but now we spend it, so we're going to set that as spent. So we cannot double spend it, if you know what I mean. Oh, yeah. And today I had a very amazing leg day in the gym. It was crazy. Everybody was looking because, you know, they see me, I'm jacked, and they see all that weight on the squat bar, and they think, holy crap, do we need to call the ambulance? But no. The world isn't anymore the way it used to be. Man, I squatted today, not that much, right? But I think 130 I did, which is very good in a cut. But hey, all that things aside, you're not here to listen to my bullshit. You're here to learn, I know. But sometimes you're my only friends, actually, because I don't have one, so I can only talk to you in my camera, unfortunately. Anyway, yes. So we're gonna delete this thing. So basically, this is going to be the key here, and I want to see if this key actually is the key we need. Okay, what we're going to do is basically this, right? We're going to say hex and code to string this little key. Wait. What is going on here? This key is fucked. Why is this key so weird? Input. Oh. Huh? What is going on? It's bytes. Well, I think, yeah, maybe it's fucked up with these things. I understand. Oh yeah, no. We need to do hex. We need to do this and go to string tx pref hash like that. Maybe is that the thing? Input, by the way, what am I doing? Input pref, yes, and then that should actually give us something readable. Yes. Okay, so this is basically the key. So this is how it's stored in the unspent transaction output storage with the index 0, and that's correctly fine. So it's going to be the 0433D2. And that's, I think, that's going to be a chain test. Yes, it's this one, right? That's what we need. That's what we need. So the first thing I want to test real quick in chain is that we set that in our UTXO, because otherwise we're going to have troubles. Actually, let's try it actually, right? So we're going to say that the UTXO error is going to be UTXO store get key. If r is not nil, we are going to return the error, and otherwise UTXO. We are going to print out this UTXO. What do you think? I think that's fine. I think that's a good plan. I think that's a good angle. It's a good angle. Let's go. Wow. Today everything works. It's crazy. Today everything just works. It's amazing. There are these days. Now we need to do this UTXO dot spend is true, right? And now we're gonna store this. So we could basically we could do an update, but we don't. It's don't really matter. We're gonna say UTXO store, and we're gonna basically put back this UTXO inside of this thing. It's probably an error actually. If add is not null, return the error. Right, that's fine. So hey, that's actually amazing news. So we spent this. What I'm gonna do real quick is actually something very, very, very nasty, and I'm gonna copy this in basically here, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to say fmt println, and I'm gonna say this UTXO once again just to check if it's actually stored. Isn't that nasty? But you guys already know me. I'm a little bit dirty inside. You know what I mean? A little bit of nastiness. It's true. It's spent. Look at this. We spent our first 1,000 coins or whatever. It could be anything. Rupus, whatever you wanna do with that stuff, right? It's amazing. So that's fine. So we don't need this anymore. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Okay, that's amazing. So right now we have the opportunity to basically not double spend, right? Because each time we're going to add it, we're going to check it, we're going to verify it, and then we're going to say, okay, this is spent, true, and done. And we need to do that for each input, right? Each input. Yeah, that's it. What can we do more? I think this is actually a very, very nice... a very nice, how do you say that, finisher. Working tests. It's amazing. All right, I think this is a very nice finisher. I think we have kinda, or verification. We have a lot of verification, validation set up. We have our UTXO set up. We have our memory storages set up. The only thing we don't have is some kind of a balance indexing. That's a little bit of a problem. So we cannot basically query, let's say, for example, I have an address, my address, and I want to say, hey, how much rupus do I have? And I just query, hey, this is my address, what's my balance? We don't have that. Maybe we could do that in the next episode, for sure. Or we already start the consensus the proof of work, I think is gonna be. Let me know what you guys want to see. I think we could do another Patreon series about consensus algorithms, because that's just some way of communicating and setting some flags and adding some state, right? So, and that's probably going to be a note somewhere. We're gonna do some stuff here, because I think we already have a mempool also. Oh man, it's amazing. Where is it? Time to create a new block. Time to create a new block here, right? So validate the loop. This basically is a little bit of garbage, right? So we need to we're gonna remove that, but that's basically for to make sure we actually adding blocks, because otherwise this won't do anything right now. So if we make run here, let's see what's going on. Right, we are making transactions. Oh, but that's not blocks, right? I don't think we block. Let's see what's gonna happen if we make a block. Here. Oh, we have 5 transactions in it. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. Everything is working smoothly. Smooth sailing is going on here. My application is working. What's going on? All right, cool. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next video, we're gonna make some kind of indexing, balance store or something, or see if we can combine some stuff, make it a little bit better, so we can actually query balances, or we basically start some kind of a proof of work, so we can boot up a couple nodes, and then they basically going to generate blocks based on how Bitcoin does it, right? But of course, not that difficult. We're gonna make it a little bit more easier, or I mean, hey, And electric is not cheap anymore, right? Energy is not cheap, so we need to a little bit save the plants. And I have plants, but they're all plastic, because if they are real plants, they would die in my house because I forget to water them. Anyway, peace, see you soon.